Hello and welcome to today's episode. I'm so glad you've joined me because we're diving into a topic that many English learners and even some fluent speakers find challenging: understanding fast English speakers. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone talks so quickly that you barely catch a word? Maybe it's a native speaker who's chatting with their usual rhythm, or perhaps you're watching a movie or a TV show where the dialogue feels like it's flying by, leaving you scrambling to keep up. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people struggle with this, and it can be incredibly frustrating and even discouraging at times. But don't worry. Today, we're going to unpack this problem and explore practical ways to help you understand English spoken at natural, fast speeds. Understanding fast English speakers isn't just about catching every word, it's about improving your overall communication skills, building your confidence, and making your listening experience more enjoyable. Fast speech is a natural part of everyday English. People speak quickly when they are comfortable, excited, or just chatting casually with friends. So if you want to live, work, or study in an English-speaking environment, or simply enjoy English media without constantly hitting pause, learning to keep up with fast speakers is essential. It's a skill that will open doors to better conversations, deeper connections, and greater cultural understanding. Throughout this episode, I'll guide you through the reasons why fast English can be so tricky, the patterns and rhythms behind natural speech, and most importantly, effective strategies you can start using right now to improve your listening skills. You'll learn how to train your ear to catch the important parts, how to practice with different tools, and how to stay calm and confident when faced with rapid English. By the end of this episode, you'll feel more equipped to face fast speech head-on, and you'll have a clear plan to continue improving your understanding over time. So, whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone passionate about English, stick around. This episode is for you. The challenge: why fast English speakers can be hard to understand. When we talk about the challenge of understanding fast English speakers, it's important to first recognize how common this experience is and the many different situations where it can happen. Whether you're in a classroom listening to a native English teacher, chatting with colleagues in a work meeting, attending a social event with friends, or simply trying to follow along with a movie or TV show, you will almost certainly encounter people speaking at a pace that feels too fast to keep up with. It's not just about the speed itself, but the way English speakers naturally connect words and phrases in conversation, often blending sounds together and dropping syllables, which can make the language sound almost like a completely new form to those who haven't had enough practice. This isn't just a challenge for beginners either. Even advanced English learners can find themselves struggling to catch every word when speech speeds up. Speed plays a crucial role in comprehension. When someone speaks slowly and clearly, your brain has more time to process each word, interpret its meaning, and store it in memory. However, as the pace increases, your brain has to work much harder to keep up. If you haven't developed strong listening skills or aren't familiar with common patterns of fast speech, it's easy to lose track of what's being said. This can lead to feelings of confusion, frustration, and sometimes embarrassment, especially if you're in a live conversation where missing parts of the dialogue can make you feel lost or hesitant to respond. Over time, this can even affect your motivation to engage with English, which is why understanding the nature of fast speech is so important in overcoming this barrier. There are several psychological and linguistic factors at play that make fast English difficult to understand. Psychologically, our brains have a limited processing speed when it comes to language, especially when it's not our native tongue. When a speaker talks quickly, your brain has less time to decode sounds, recognize words, and piece together the meaning. This is why you might notice that you understand slow speech quite well, but once the speed increases, you feel overwhelmed. Additionally, unfamiliar accents and dialects add another layer of complexity. Even native speakers can sound fast or unclear if they have a strong regional accent or use slang and idiomatic expressions that you haven't encountered before. Slang words, phrasal verbs, and idiomatic phrases are often shortened or merged in fast speech, which can make it feel like you're hearing a completely different vocabulary. This combination of speed, accent, and informal language makes listening challenging, but it's also what makes English such a dynamic and rich language. To better understand this challenge, imagine being in a casual conversation with a native English speaker who is excitedly sharing a story. They might say something like, "I was gonna go to the party, but then I didn't 'cause I had to finish work." At natural speed, this sentence blends together quickly with contractions like gonna, going to, and didn't cause, didn't because, flying by in a way that's hard to catch if you're not familiar with these patterns. Without recognizing these reductions and understanding the context, you might only catch fragments and feel confused about the overall meaning. Or think about watching a movie scene where characters speak rapidly in a heated argument or a comedic exchange full of slang. If you're not prepared, you might find yourself constantly rewinding or switching on subtitles just to keep up, which interrupts the flow and enjoyment of the experience. These real-life examples illustrate why many English learners feel stuck when it comes to fast speech. It's not a reflection of your intelligence or language ability. It's simply the natural outcome of how complex and fast-paced real-world English conversations can be. The good news is that with the right strategies and consistent practice, you can train your brain and ears to adapt to this speed. The more you expose yourself to fast speech and learn the patterns behind it, the easier it becomes to decode and understand, transforming this challenge into an opportunity for growth. In the next section, we'll break down how fast English speakers actually produce speech, so you can start recognizing these patterns and feel more confident when you hear them. Understanding the mechanics of fast speech. To truly understand why fast English speakers sound the way they do and why it can be challenging to keep up, it's essential to look closely at the mechanics behind their speech. One of the fundamental aspects of fast speech is the natural rhythm and flow that native speakers develop over years of practice. English, like many other languages, isn't spoken in isolated words or neat sentences. It's a continuous stream of sounds that are linked together in a smooth, musical rhythm. This rhythm is called connected speech, and it's one of the reasons fast English can sound confusing or even like a different language altogether to learners. When people speak quickly, they don't pause between every word. Instead, sounds from one word blend into the next. This creates a pattern where words merge, syllables are shortened, and the overall flow speeds up, making the speech sound more fluid and natural but less clear if you're not familiar with these patterns. Connected speech is made up of several important features, including linking, assimilation, and elision. Linking happens when the final sound of one word connects to the beginning of the next word, like when go on sounds like guan or pick it up sounds like pick it up. Assimilation is when sounds change to become more similar to nearby sounds. For example, in the phrase good boy, the D in good might sound like a B because it blends with the B in boy. Elision, on the other hand, is when sounds are completely left out, often to make speech quicker. This happens in everyday phrases like next day, which can sound like next day, or friendship, which might be pronounced as friendship. These features allow native speakers to talk faster without losing meaning, but create difficulties for learners who try to understand each word separately. Another key part of fast speech involves reductions and contractions. These are shortened forms of words or phrases that speakers use all the time in casual conversation. For instance, instead of saying going to, native speakers often say gonna. Instead of want to, they say wanna. Similarly, did not becomes didn't, and I am often sounds like I'm. These contractions aren't just about speed, they also reflect how natural speech flows more smoothly when words are connected and simplified. However, if you're learning English through textbooks or formal lessons, you might not be exposed to these forms early on, making them hard to recognize when you hear them in fast conversations. Over time, as you become more familiar with these common reductions, your brain will begin to anticipate and recognize them instantly, improving your listening comprehension dramatically. Intonation and stress patterns also play a huge role in how fast speech is understood. Intonation refers to the rise and fall of the voice during speaking, which can signal different emotions, intentions, or question forms. Stress patterns involve emphasizing certain syllables or words to convey meaning or highlight important information. In fast speech, speakers often stress key words while quickly gliding over less important ones. For example, in the sentence, I'm going to the store, the words going and store might be stressed, while I'm and to the are said quickly and softly. This selective stressing helps listeners focus on the most important parts of the message, even if they don't catch every single word. Understanding this can help you learn to listen for the big picture rather than getting stuck on every detail, making comprehension easier even at high speeds. Ultimately, native speakers shorten and link words naturally to make their speech more efficient and expressive. They don't think about each contraction, reduction, or linking sound consciously. It just comes from years of practice and immersion in the language environment. For learners, the key is to become familiar with these patterns through exposure and practice, so that what initially sounds like a jumble of words will start to make sense as a connected whole. Once you get used to the way words blend and sounds change in fast speech, you'll find that listening becomes less overwhelming and much more enjoyable. In the next section, we'll explore specific strategies to help you develop these listening skills and start understanding fast English speakers more easily in real life. Strategies to improve understanding of fast English speakers. When it comes to improving your ability to understand fast English speakers, the good news is that there are many effective strategies you can start using right away. The first and perhaps most important strategy is active listening. This means engaging fully with what you hear instead of passively letting the words wash over you. Active listening involves focusing your attention completely on the speaker, trying to anticipate what they might say next, and mentally summarizing the main ideas as you listen. It's also about training your brain to handle the flow of information without getting overwhelmed. One way to practice active listening is by listening to short clips of natural English speech and trying to catch the gist or key points, rather than getting stuck on every unfamiliar word. This helps your brain become comfortable with the rhythm and speed, which is essential for fast speech comprehension. Another powerful technique is focusing on keywords and context, rather than trying to understand every single word. Fast speech often includes many small function words like and, the, or to, which might be difficult to hear clearly but usually don't affect the overall meaning. Instead, try to identify the content words, the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs that carry the main message. For example, if someone says, "I went to the store to buy some fresh fruit," even if you miss some small words, catching store, buy, fresh, and fruit will give you a good understanding of what they're talking about. Additionally, paying attention to the context of the conversation helps fill in gaps where you don't catch every word. The situation, the topic, and even the speaker's body language can give you clues about what's being said, making it easier to follow along. Learning common reductions and contractions is another key step. As we discussed earlier, English speakers often shorten phrases to make their speech flow faster and more natural. Familiarizing yourself with these common forms, like gonna for going to, wanna for want to, or didn't instead of did not, will make it much easier to recognize words in fast speech. You can find lists of these reductions online or in language learning books, but the most effective way to learn them is through exposure and repetition. Listen for them in conversations, movies, podcasts, and try to use them yourself when speaking to reinforce your understanding. Over time, your ear will naturally pick them up without needing to consciously think about each one. Practicing with audio and video materials at different speeds is another very practical and powerful method. Many language learning platforms and apps allow you to slow down or speed up recordings, so you can start by listening to fast speech slowed down to a comfortable pace and gradually increase the speed as your skills improve. This controlled exposure helps your brain adjust incrementally, reducing frustration and building confidence. It's also useful to listen to a clip multiple times, first without subtitles, then with them, and finally try to repeat or summarize what you heard. This layered approach reinforces your listening and comprehension skills effectively. Using subtitles and transcripts effectively can be a huge help as well, but it's important to use them the right way. Instead of relying on subtitles to read every word while listening, try first to listen without them to challenge your brain, then check the subtitles or transcript to catch what you missed. This approach trains your ear and improves your ability to infer meaning from what you hear. Reading along with transcripts while listening also helps you connect spoken sounds to their written forms, which can clarify confusing reductions or pronunciations. Finally, note-taking and shadowing techniques are excellent for active engagement. Note-taking while listening forces you to focus and identify the most important information. You don't need to write down everything, just key words and ideas that help you remember the message. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to a sentence or phrase and immediately repeat it aloud, trying to mimic the speed, intonation, and rhythm of the speaker. This practice improves your listening and speaking skills simultaneously by training your brain and mouth to keep pace with fast speech. Over time, shadowing helps you internalize the natural flow of English, making it easier to understand when others speak quickly. By combining these strategies, active listening, focusing on keywords, learning reductions, practicing with different speeds, using subtitles smartly, and applying note-taking and shadowing, you can steadily improve your ability to understand fast English speakers. It takes patience and consistent effort, but the progress you'll see will be well worth it, opening up new opportunities for communication and enjoyment in the English language. Building your listening skills. Step by step. Building strong listening skills, especially when it comes to understanding fast English speakers, is a gradual process that requires patience, consistent effort, and the right approach. One of the best ways to start is by slowing things down initially. When you first listen to English, whether it's through audio clips, podcasts, or conversations, it's perfectly fine, and even recommended, to begin at a slower pace. This gives your brain the time it needs to process new sounds, recognize words, and understand sentence structures. Many language learning platforms provide the option to adjust playback speed, allowing you to listen to native speech at a pace that feels comfortable. As your confidence and comprehension improve, you can slowly increase the speed until you're comfortable following natural, fast speech without losing meaning. This gradual progression helps prevent overwhelm and builds your skills steadily over time. Exposure to different accents and dialects is another essential part of improving your listening skills. English is spoken in countless ways around the world, from the clear, measured tones of standard American English to the quick, rhythmic speech of Cockney in London, the lilting melodies of Australian English, or the rich diversity of accents in India, South Africa, and beyond. Each accent has unique pronunciation, vocabulary, and speech patterns, and the more you expose yourself to these variations, the better your brain becomes at decoding different sounds and rhythms. This exposure broadens your understanding and prepares you for real-world situations where English is spoken in many different ways. The best way to do this is by listening to a variety of sources, watch movies, listen to podcasts, or follow YouTube channels featuring speakers from different regions. Over time, what initially sounds confusing or unfamiliar will become clear and natural. Language learning apps and podcasts are powerful tools for practicing listening skills because they offer convenience, variety, and a wealth of content designed for different levels. Many apps include features like interactive transcripts, speed control, and vocabulary explanations, allowing you to customize your learning experience. Podcasts, on the other hand, expose you to authentic conversations and stories, helping you practice listening in context. Try to choose podcasts that match your interests and language level, and make a habit of listening regularly. Even short daily sessions of 10 to 15 minutes can lead to significant improvement over weeks and months. The key is consistency. Regular listening practice trains your brain to process English more quickly and naturally. Practicing real conversations or language exchanges is one of the most effective ways to build listening skills because it puts you in active communication with real people rather than just passively consuming audio. Conversation forces you to listen carefully, respond in real time, and adapt to different speaking styles and speeds. You can join local language exchange groups, participate in online conversation clubs, or find language partners through apps and social media. While these conversations might feel challenging at first, especially with fast speakers, they provide invaluable experience that helps you improve faster. Remember, it's okay to ask speakers to slow down or repeat themselves. Most people are happy to help once they understand you're learning. The confidence and real-world practice gained through conversations will boost both your listening and speaking abilities. Above all, patience and persistence are vital in this journey. Improving your ability to understand fast English speakers doesn't happen overnight. It's a skill that develops gradually through repeated exposure, practice, and a willingness to embrace mistakes and challenges along the way. Some days you might feel frustrated or discouraged when the speech feels too fast or the meaning slips away, but that's completely normal. The important thing is to keep going, stay motivated, and celebrate small victories, like understanding a phrase you couldn't catch before or following a whole sentence without asking for repetition. Over time, these small successes accumulate and transform your listening ability. In summary, building your listening skills step by step means starting slow and gradually increasing the speed of the materials you listen to, exposing yourself to a variety of accents and dialects to train your ear, making good use of language learning apps and podcasts to practice regularly, engaging in real conversations to gain authentic experience, and above all, maintaining patience and persistence. By following these steps consistently, you will notice your confidence and comprehension improving, making fast English speech much more accessible and enjoyable. Remember, listening is a skill like any other. The more you practice, the better you get. Dealing with anxiety and confidence issues. When it comes to understanding fast English speakers, anxiety and confidence play a huge role in how well you can process and comprehend what's being said. It's completely natural to feel nervous, especially if you're in a live conversation or an important setting like a meeting, interview, or social event. This nervousness can make it harder to focus on the words themselves because your mind might be preoccupied with worries about making mistakes or not understanding everything perfectly. When you're anxious, your brain's ability to process language slows down, and you might find yourself missing words, losing track of the conversation, or feeling overwhelmed by the speed. This can create a cycle where anxiety leads to poor comprehension, and poor comprehension increases anxiety even more, making it feel almost impossible to keep up. Recognizing the impact of nervousness on your listening is the first step toward managing it. One effective way to stay calm and focused when listening to fast speakers is to practice deep breathing and mindfulness techniques before and during conversations. Taking slow, deliberate breaths helps reduce the physical symptoms of anxiety, like a racing heart or tense muscles, and allows your mind to clear. When you feel more relaxed, your brain can work more efficiently, helping you process information better. Another practical tip is to focus on the overall meaning, rather than trying to catch every single word. Remind yourself that it's okay to miss a few words as long as you understand the main ideas. This shift in focus reduces pressure and makes listening less stressful. If you're in a conversation, don't hesitate to ask the speaker to repeat or slow down if needed. Most people appreciate your effort to understand and will be happy to help. Developing a positive mindset and practicing self-encouragement are also crucial in overcoming anxiety and building confidence. Instead of being overly critical about what you don't understand, celebrate what you do, catch and recognize your progress. Remember that language learning is a journey, and everyone makes mistakes along the way. Treat yourself with kindness and patience, just as you would encourage a friend facing the same challenge. Positive self-talk like, "I'm improving every day," or "It's okay if I don't understand everything, I'm getting better," can boost your motivation and reduce feelings of self-doubt. Visualization techniques, where you imagine yourself successfully understanding and engaging in fast conversations, can also be powerful in building confidence. Lastly, building confidence often comes from exposure and practice. The more you put yourself in situations where you listen to fast English, the more comfortable you'll become. Over time, the initial anxiety will lessen, replaced by a growing sense of competence and ease. Remember that even native speakers sometimes struggle to understand each other, especially in noisy or fast-paced environments. You're not alone in this, and your ability to improve is entirely within your control. By managing anxiety, staying calm, focusing on meaning, and maintaining a positive attitude, you'll find yourself enjoying conversations more and understanding fast English with greater ease and confidence. Practical tips and tools. When it comes to improving your ability to understand fast English speakers, having the right resources and tools at your fingertips can make all the difference. Fortunately, in today's digital age, there are countless options available that cater specifically to language learners at all levels. One of the best ways to immerse yourself in natural, fast-paced English is by regularly listening to podcasts designed for learners, as well as those created for native speakers. Podcasts such as The English We Speak by the BBC, Luke's English Podcast, and All Ears English provide excellent content that balances natural speech with learner-friendly explanations. These shows often include real conversations, idiomatic expressions, and cultural insights, making your listening practice both educational and entertaining. For those who enjoy visual learning, YouTube channels like English Addict with Mr. Steve, Rachel's English, and BBC Learning English offer videos focusing on pronunciation, connected speech, and listening practice, all of which expose you to authentic English spoken at varying speeds. In addition to content sources, there are fantastic apps that help you practice and improve your listening skills with a focus on fast English. Apps like Elsa Speak, LingQ, SpeechLing, and BeelingWap allow you to listen to native speakers, practice pronunciation, and access transcripts or translations. Many of these platforms incorporate spaced repetition and interactive exercises that reinforce your understanding of common reductions, contractions, and slang words that appear in fast speech. By using these apps regularly, you can turn your phone or tablet into a powerful language learning tool, helping you fit practice into your daily routine no matter how busy you are. One of the most powerful features offered by technology today is the ability to slow down audio without distorting the speaker's voice. Tools like VLC Media Player, YouTube's built-in speed controls, or language learning apps often allow you to reduce playback speed so you can listen carefully to fast speech and pick up details you might miss at normal speed. Repetition and looping features are also invaluable. Being able to replay difficult phrases or sentences multiple times helps your brain absorb and recognize sounds more effectively. Using these features to listen repeatedly to the same clip, gradually increasing the speed, trains your ear to catch fast speech with greater ease. This kind of focused practice is much more effective than simply listening passively or jumping from one topic to another without revisiting challenging material. Another excellent way to improve your listening and speaking skills is by joining conversation clubs or online forums where you can practice with other learners and native speakers in a supportive environment. Conversation clubs, whether in person or virtual, provide opportunities to engage in real-time discussions, ask questions, and get immediate feedback. Platforms like Meetup, Tandem, or Conversation Exchange connect language learners worldwide and make finding conversation partners easy and accessible. Online forums such as Reddit's r/English Learning or language-focused Facebook groups also offer communities where you can share resources, ask for advice, and participate in discussions that expose you to a variety of writing and speaking styles. The key benefit of these interactive environments is that they simulate real-life conversations and expose you to the natural speed and rhythm of English, helping you build confidence as well as listening skills. By combining these practical tips, regularly listening to recommended podcasts and YouTube channels, utilizing apps designed for language learners, taking full advantage of technology's slowing and looping features, and actively participating in conversation clubs or forums, you create a well-rounded approach to mastering fast English. The consistent use of these tools not only improves your listening comprehension, but also makes the process enjoyable and motivating. Remember, learning to understand fast English speakers is a journey, and these resources help guide and support you every step of the way. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. When learning to understand fast English speakers, it's easy to fall into certain common traps that can slow down your progress or even cause frustration. Recognizing these mistakes and knowing how to avoid them is crucial for steady improvement and long-term success. One of the biggest mistakes learners make is trying to understand every single word. It's natural to want to catch every detail, especially if you're used to studying English in a classroom setting where every word is carefully explained. However, in real-life fast speech, speakers often blend words together, use contractions, or drop sounds, making it impossible to catch everything. Trying to decode every word individually leads to overload and confusion, making it difficult to follow the overall meaning. Instead, focus on the big picture. Pay attention to keywords, the general context, and the speaker's intent. This shift in approach allows your brain to process information more efficiently and reduces the stress of feeling like you have to understand every sound perfectly. Over time, as your listening skills improve, the smaller details will naturally become clearer. Another common mistake is ignoring context clues, which are vital in understanding fast speech. Context includes the setting, the topic of conversation, body language, and tone of voice. These elements provide important hints that help fill in gaps when you miss a word or phrase. For example, if someone is talking about their weekend and you don't catch one specific word, the overall context might still make their meaning clear. Sometimes learners focus so much on the words themselves that they forget to use these surrounding clues to piece together meaning. Paying attention to context helps you make educated guesses and stay engaged with the conversation without getting stuck on individual unknown words. It's important to remember that native speakers often use idioms, slang, or cultural references that might be unfamiliar, but the context will usually guide you to understand the general message. By training yourself to observe and interpret these clues, your comprehension becomes much more flexible and resilient. A third major pitfall is giving up too quickly. Learning to understand fast English speakers is a skill that takes time and consistent practice. It's common to feel overwhelmed or discouraged when you encounter difficult listening situations, but quitting or avoiding practice only slows your progress. Every learner faces moments of struggle. It's part of the process. The key is to persevere through these challenges and keep practicing regularly. Break down your listening practice into manageable sessions, celebrate small victories, and remind yourself that improvement comes gradually. If you find yourself getting frustrated, take a short break or switch to easier materials before returning to more challenging content. Setting realistic expectations and being patient with yourself will help you stay motivated over the long term. Remember, even native speakers sometimes have trouble understanding each other in noisy or fast environments. Struggling is normal and temporary. Avoiding these common mistakes means embracing a smarter approach to listening. Rather than aiming for perfection, focus on understanding the overall message, making use of context clues, and committing to consistent practice without giving up. By doing so, you not only improve your ability to comprehend fast English, but also build confidence and enjoyment in your language learning journey. The more you practice with this mindset, the more natural and effortless understanding fast speech will become. Real-life success stories and encouragement. Learning to understand fast English speakers can feel like an enormous challenge at first, but countless learners around the world have faced this exact struggle and come out stronger on the other side. Let me share a story that might resonate with many of you. Imagine a young professional named Sarah, who moved to an English-speaking country for work. At the beginning, she found it nearly impossible to follow conversations during meetings or casual chats with colleagues because everyone spoke so quickly and used phrases she hadn't heard before. Sarah felt frustrated and doubted whether she would ever catch up. But instead of giving up, she committed to daily listening practice using podcasts, slowed-down videos, and language apps. She also joined an online conversation club where she gradually became more confident engaging with fast speakers. After months of persistence, Sarah noticed a dramatic shift. She could now understand the main points in meetings, laugh along with jokes, and even contribute her own ideas without hesitation. Her experience shows that improvement is possible with consistent effort and the right strategies. Another inspiring example is from a listener named Raj, who struggled with different English accents because his native language was quite different from English. He often felt lost when people spoke quickly, especially when they used slang or idioms. Raj's breakthrough came when he focused on exposure to various accents through movies, podcasts, and online communities. He made a habit of shadowing speakers and repeating phrases to get used to the rhythm and sounds. Over time, Raj's ear adapted, and he became comfortable understanding even the fastest speakers in casual conversations. Stories like Sarah's and Raj's remind us that every learner's journey is unique, but success is always within reach when you stay committed. So if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, remember that every expert listener once started where you are today. The key is to keep practicing, stay patient, and celebrate your progress, no matter how small it seems. Each step forward brings you closer to understanding fast English with ease and confidence. Your efforts are building a powerful skill that will open doors to new friendships, professional opportunities, and cultural experiences. Keep going and trust that with time, persistence, and the right mindset, you will achieve your listening goals. As we wrap up today's episode on how to understand fast English speakers, let's take a moment to recap the key points we've covered. We started by exploring why fast speech can be challenging, including the natural rhythm of English, connected speech, and common reductions that native speakers use. Then, we dove into practical strategies such as active listening, focusing on keywords, practicing with audio materials at varying speeds, and using tools like subtitles and shadowing to strengthen your skills. We also discussed the importance of building your listening step by step, exposing yourself to different accents, and engaging in real conversations to gain confidence. Managing anxiety and maintaining a positive mindset emerged as vital to overcoming challenges, along with avoiding common mistakes like trying to understand every word or giving up too soon. Finally, I shared inspiring success stories to remind you that improvement is absolutely possible with patience and persistence. Now, it's time for you to take action. I encourage you to pick at least one or two strategies from today's episode and start applying them in your daily listening practice. Try slowing down audio clips, joining a conversation club, or focusing on context to make comprehension easier. And remember, learning a language is a journey. Every small effort adds up to big progress over time. I'd love to hear from you. Your feedback, questions, and topic suggestions are incredibly valuable and help shape future episodes. Feel free to reach out via social media, email, or the podcast's website. Let me know what challenges you're facing, what tips work best for you, or what topics you'd like me to cover next. Engaging with you keeps this community vibrant and supportive, and I'm here to help you succeed. Before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with some positive motivation. Understanding fast English speakers might seem tough now, but with dedication and the right approach, you will grow more confident and fluent every day. Keep pushing forward, celebrate your progress, and enjoy the rich, exciting world that opens up when you truly connect with others through language. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to joining you again in the next episode. Until then, keep practicing and stay curious.